So, the third position في ثلاثة مواضع. The third position is والفعل المضارع. الفعل المضارع, which is the present tense verb. إذا دخل عليها ناصب. Right, إذا دخل عليها, what does دخل mean?
He entered.
Enters. عليه, upon it. What enters upon it? ناصب. So the ناصب here is a فاعل. So you could read it إذا دخل ناصب عليه. عليه. What does a he refer to here?
No, the damir meaning.
The damir refers back to al-fi'l al-mudari'. Right? إذا دخل عليه ناصب ولم يتصل. What does اتصل mean? لاتصاله اتصلت عليك.
Call or ring.
It is used for that purpose, but what does it actually mean? اتصل. To connect.
Yeah.
He connected. وَلَمْ يَتَّصِلْ, and it is not connected. وَلَمْ يَتَّصِلَ بِآخِرِهِ, with its ending شَيْءٌ.
Anything.
Nothing's connected to the ending of al-mudari'u. So we're going to explain all of that بإذن الله تعالى. But the first point is إذا دخل عليه ناصب on al-fi'lu al-mudari'. Right? So we want to say the student will not attend the lesson. Will not attend the lesson. How do we say this?
The student
Will not. So we're going to use al-mudari' and we're going to negate it with will not, which is
lam.
not lam, that's he didn't.
Lan.
Lan.
Yeah, lan.
Right, but we want to form it correctly. So how are we going to begin?
Lan.
Lan.
So
Attended.
yad.
What?
Yadri.
He attended. Hadara.
Hadara.
He is attending is
Yahduru.
yahduru. Lan.
Yahduru.
Right.
We have to make it mansub.
Mansub.
Last.
Yahduru. Right. Ordinarily it would be yahduru. But we have a nasibun. A nasibun, meaning something that makes it mansubun. That's a nasibun.
That's the lan.
And it's the lan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because when lan enters upon al-mudari', it makes it mansubun. Right? Yeah, Muhammad?
Yeah, I'm confused between lam and lan.
Yeah, you should. We do that every lesson. Lam. What? That we always mention the ayah. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَنْ تَفْعَلُوا. But that's a good example that isn't applicable here. Isn't it?
Because the noon gets erased.
Because there, something is connected to the end. Isn't it? And we're going to explain that in a moment. Right. لَنْ يَحْضُرَ
الدرس.
الطالبة
طالب. Sorry.
الطالب
الدرس.
الدرس الدرس لن يحضر الطالب الدرس. Right, what does that mean, Ya Namal Haq?
The student will not attend the class.
The lesson. Right, good. The student لن يحضر will not attend الدرس. If we do quickly perform the i'rabun, we'd say lan is
Nafi.
harfu, but first of all it's harfu nasbin, isn't it? Harfu nasbin. It's a means of making something mansubun wa nafyin. It's for negation, isn't it? Harfu nasbin wa nafyin. Yahdura is fi'lun mudari'un mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi al-fathatu al-zahiratu ala akhirih. At-talibu is
فاعل
الطالب is فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. الدرس is مفعول به منصوب. You keep missing words out يا محمد. وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره or في آخره, whichever you prefer, right? So that is our example of this, which is والفعل المضارع. That's الفعل المضارع إذا دخل عليه ناصب. If a nasib enters upon it, which is lan here. That is a nasibun, right? And what's it done to? Yahduru. It's made it yahdura. And remember that here we're talking about the positions where al-fathatu is an indicator of it being mansubun. Let's not forget, the essence of the lesson, right? But then after that, the author rahimahullah said وَلَمْ يَأْتَسِلْ بِآخِرِهِ شَيْئًا وَلَمْ يَأْتَسِلْ بِآخِرِهِ شَيْئًا. Right? So what does that mean? That nothing connects to the end. Or what can connect to the end? Right. If we want to say he will not write. How do we say that? So we have he writes is
لم يكتب لم يكتب.
yaktubu is
He writes.
he is writing. He will not.
لم يكتب.
Lan.
لن يكتب.
Right. And then it becomes lan yaktuba. Lan yaktuba. Right. Ya Muhammad. Is anything ولم يتصل بآخره شيء, is anything connected to the end of al-fi'l or al-mudari'? No. Right. What if we now want to say that those two will not write? So we've mentioned lan yaktuba. Now we want to say those two. First of all, those two are writing.
Yaktubani.
Good. Yaktubani. Yaktubani. Right? Yaktubani. So our verb is yaktubu. Right? Now we've added an alif onto the end, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right? We've added an alif.
Yeah.
So we have added an alif. So we have now not done what is mentioned, which is وَلَمْ يَأْتَسِلْ بِآخِرِهِ شَيْئًا. Right? So if we now enter a nasibun upon it, such as lan, what happens? Hadfun nuni. Hadfun nuni. Hadfun nuni. Sorry?
And there is a mad based to the alif.
يكتبا.
Yeah.
لن يكتبا. Right? لن يكتبا. Now, the whole purpose of this is to make reference to those instances where al-fathatu is the indicator of it being mansubun. Is now al-fathatu the indicator of it being mansubun on this al-fi'lu al-mudari'?
Yes, but it's muqaddar too.
No.
No, ya la, ya Muhammad. Hadf nuni. Our previous lesson. Do you remember what we said? Those 5
Verbs.
al-af'alu al-khamsatu. Isn't this one of them?
Yeah.
Yes. So where we have al-alifu on the end, al-alifu al-muthanna, isn't it?
Yeah.
Al-alifu al-muthanna. Are we all clear what al-alifu al-muthanna is?
Yeah, the plural, the dual.
The dual. The alif that indicates duality, which is this.
Yeah.
So now what is, let's perform the i'rabun. Lan is
Nasbin.
harfu nasbin wa
Nafi.
nafiyin.
Negative.
Yaktuba is
Fi'l mudari.
fi'lun mudari'un mansubun. It's mansubun, isn't it? Wa alamatu nasbihi is
Hadfun.
hadfu nuni. Hadfu an-nuni. Right. So that's our first one. The second one, if we want to say they, plural male, are writing, how do we say it?
So, yaktu.
Yaktubuna. Right. Yaktubuna. Again. وَلَمْ يَأْتَسِلْ بِآخِرِهِ شَيْءٌ. And nothing is connected to the end. Yanimul haq is something connected to the end of the... Yes. Al-waw. What's it called? Al-waw. Al-jama'a. Al-waw. Well, actually it would be waw al-jama'a because that's an idafa. Jama'a. So it would be waw al-jama'ati. Right? Yaktubuna. So we want to negate it. They will not write. It becomes
Lan yaktu.
lan yaktubu. Right. What happens here?
Is there alif there?
Yeah, we write an alif, just like in the ayah. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا. When you read it, you'll see there's an alif there. Right? So, what's the i'rab now quickly of this? Lan is
Nasb.
harfu nasbin wa nafyin. Yaktubu is
Fi'l mudari.
fi'lun mudari'un mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi
Hadfun nuni.
hadfu nuni.
Erase of the nun.
Yes, dropping of the noon. Right? So that's the second instance. Right. What is the third instance where something can be connected to it? It is Ya'u al-mukhatabati. Ya al-mukhatabati. Ya'u al-mukhatabati. Right. So we want to say you single female are writing. How do we say that?
Yaktubina.
Ya Muhammad. Yaktubina.
Taktubina.
Taktubina. تكتبين. You, single female are writing. Is something connected to the ba? Yes. So this is another example where it's not applicable. Now, we want to negate it with a lan. What happens? Lan taktu
B.
B hadf nooni. Right, yeah, Muhammad. Let's see if we get it correct this time. Let's perform the i'rabun.
حرف النصب
Wa nafiyin. So you remember that bit, then you forgot the nafiyin. Harfu nasbin wa nafiyin. Taktubi is?
فعل ضمير
فعل مضارع
منصوب
وعلامة نصبه حذف النون وعلامة نصبه حذف النون because it's من الأسماء من الأفعال الخمسة, right? And note that in each of these instances that's the fa'ilun. Al-Alif wal-Muthanna and Waw al-Jama'ati and Ya al-Mukhatabati is what? They're all the fa'ilun, right? So there's two remaining. There are two remaining. Noonun niswati. What's the noonun niswati? What does that mean? Nis.
The noon of the woman.
The noon of femininity. So we want to say they, plural, female are writing. How do we say it?
يكتبنا.
Right, ya Muhammad. Yaktubna. Yaktubna means they, plural, female, are writing. Now we want to negate it with that's you, plural, female, are writing. Right? The same applies. So, lan. Okay, lan yaktubna. When lan enters upon yaktubna to negate them, plural, female, writing, what happens now?
The noon is erased.
Ya Muhammad, no. Because this is not min. Do you remember? It's not min af'al al-khamsat, is it? We didn't mention this. So what happens?
Staying the same.
Right, Ya al-Haq. It stays the same. So if it stays the same, right, how do we explain it? This is the interesting bit, isn't it? Lan is?
حرف النصب ونفي.
Alhamdulillah. Right? Harfu nasbin wa nafin. Now, yaktubna is what? It's fi'lun, mudari'un.
Mansubun.
But no, we now say it's mabaniyun ala sakuni. It's mabaniyun ala sakuni. And we say it is fi mahalli nasbin now. We say it's fi mahalli nasbin. It's in the position of being mansubun. Because, remember, if something's mabaniyun, it can't be mansubun. It's got to be fi mahalli nasbin. Right? So you have to remember that yaktubna and taktubna, okay, they are mabaniyun and not mu'rabun. So they are like the fi'l al-madi as opposed to the rest of al-mudari, which is mu'rabun. You follow? So yaktubna has not changed. despite the إذا دخل عليه ناصب لن. Why? Because something's connected to the end, which is the noon النسوة. And the noon النسوة is what therefore causes this to be مبني على السكون في محل نصب. Right? That therefore leads us to the final instance where something can be connected to the end. And what is it? نون التوكيد. Right. نون توكيد. Right, yeah, Muhammad, the noon of emphasis. So, we want to say, he is going. How do we say he is going?
He is going is يذهب.
Right, يذهب. يذهب. He is going. Okay? Now, if we add a noon at-tawqid to يذهب, what do we do? How do we do that?
You add it at the end of that.
We add it at the end and it becomes يذهبن. يذهبن. Right? Now there's two types of noon at-tawqid. There's what you call noon at-tawqid al-thaqil, the heavy one, and there's noon at-tawqid
The light one.
al-khafif. So you have thaqil and al-khafif. That's al-thaqil. Al-khafif is يذهبن. What's the difference? يذهبن and يذهبن. Sorry, يذهبن. يذهبن and يذهبن. What's the difference?
Heavy and light.
Right, one means indeed, certainly, he is going.
Definitely.
The other one means indeed he is going. Okay? Of course, with this, you can further emphasize it with la. La yadhhabanna. Right? But we don't want to mention that at the moment in any great detail. So, yadhhabanna and yadhhaban. Both of them are the noon at-tawqid. But as you can see, وَلَمْ يَتَّصِلْ بِآخِرِهِ شَيْءٍ is something connected to the end.
Of course.
Yes, the noon at-tawqid. So, if we now negate it with lan, what happens?
Nothing.
Nothing. There is no change. So lan we say is? Don't forget now, Ya Muhammad, you did it right the last time. What?
حرف نصب ونفي.
Right, حرف نصب ونفي. Right? يذهبن is?
فعل مضارع.
فعل مضارع. Is it مؤرب now or do we say مبني?
مبني.
We say it's مبني على الفتح. Okay? في محل نصب. Right? So it's just like نون النسوة. The noon at-tawqid is like noon al-niswati. In that one, there's no change. إذا دخل إليه ناصب. But because it's now mabniyun, you can't say it's a mansubun, and you have to say في محل نصب. Right? And of course in both of these instances the fa'ilun is what? What's the fa'ilun?
She.
She.
He. Sorry. He.
فاعل مستتر تقديره هو تقديره هو. حسنا.
For the first three you erase the noon. The second.
Yes, because the first three are from what?
The five of them.
They're from al-af'alu al-khamsatu. And the indicator, remember the indicator of the mansuban state in al-af'alu al-khamsatu is hadf nuni. And the indicator of the marfu'un state is ithbatun nuni.
Add them.
Sorry? Affirming the noon.
Staying the noon.
Yes, the noon being affirmed, it remains there. Removal of it is the indicator of it being mansubun. Right? These two, there's no change. Why is there no change? Because it's now mabaniyun. Remember, and that's unique in al-fi'lu al-mudari, because up to this point we've been discussing al-fi'lu al-mudari in terms of it altering the ending, haven't we? Right? Where it takes a dhammah and it takes a fatha and it takes a sukoon for the majzuman state. But now we've seen two examples where actually it's a mabaniyun, so we have to say fi mahalli nasbin. Hasanan? Right, any questions? And we shall conclude. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.